Hello everyone. Today is April 5th on a Monday, and I'll be going over my recap for today. So today I made a total of $213, trading a total of 8 stocks. So the topic of today is am I ready to scale up? And if you watched my last recap, I mentioned that I was going to try to scale up a bit this month or in the next few weeks, just to see if I'm ready for the market. Since the last 3 months I've been doing pretty well, so I was thinking if it might be a time to scale up. But the question is, am I ready? Emotionally or strategically? We'll find out. But you can see today I have bigger swings on my P&L, so bigger wins and also bigger losses. So it's a sign, so don't be afraid of that. And it's just a numbers game in the end. So let's get started here. So my first one that I traded, or with my biggest win, is NEXT, NEXT. So here I had a short bias when it was up here and then trailing this 15-minute trend. It was extended on VWAP in the 5-minute trend, and I was expecting a test of the 5-minute 90 EMA. So when I see it was having these wicked candles here with high volume, and it was trailing back up and couldn't hold that level, like prior highs, I went ahead and tried to look for a cup and handle to short off here for the retest of the 5-minute 90 EMA trend. So when that didn't break down, I went ahead and took a loss here. So I went in here 3,000 shares and I took a loss here. I think this was for $100 loss there. And then it had a little pop up, went to like 318s or so, and then it fell again. So I went ahead and looked for, now you see this is a lower high from this high, and I went ahead and looked for that short there, risking prior high. So I went ahead and took that and took a short there. I ended up testing the 5-minute 90 EMA. I took most of it off, all of it off there. And then, so I actually took 3,000 shares. So I have 4,000 short. I took 3,000 off on the VWAP, held 1,000 shares for this retest of this prior support, became resistance. So I went ahead and short there. And when it did a full test of that, which was the 311 area. So this was the 311 area here. When it popped over at the 311 area, couldn't get above it. I went ahead and shorted more and over there, and then waiting for that crack of the $3 mark. So when it cracked $3, it hit to a low of like 296 or so. My last bit there that I had covered was the 297.99s, and then I went ahead and covered the rest when it was popping above these 2 wicks here. Then it was popping above this $3 area. So I took the rest off there, $3 for a $465 win. It ended up kind of popping back up and holding around the 310 area after hours. So it's good coverage around there. Didn't quite test the 15-minute trend, which was my final target there. So that was ENXT. My next win was AMC. So AMC was quite a battle. I took 2 losses before I was able to make my profit on this. But my first trade was this morning during my stream, and you can see it was extended. The 5-minute 90 EMA is down here. The 1-minute trend is up here. You can see lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. I went ahead and looked for a short there. Didn't quite break that level there, and it actually broke above. It had a 1-minute flag. It broke and stopped me out. So I took a $50 loss there in the morning. and it ended up retesting the 5-minute 90 EMA shortly after. So the next trade that I took here was a long position. So there was a setup here. I went ahead and took this flag break. I didn't go too far, so I just took it off, and this was the total of I think $100 loss between these two trades. So I was down $100, and then it was extended on the 15-minute trend. So you can see in the 15-minute trend here, creating lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So I went ahead and there was like a 1072 area that was holding right here, this 1072, basing around this 1072, lower high, lower highs. And I went ahead and short my first 1,000 as a starter, risking off of 1077 or so here. And then when I saw it was failing to pop up, I went ahead and kept shorting for this 1072 break. So I was at like roughly 5,000 shares short there on AMC. Covered most of it on this 30-minute trend, which was like the low 60s. I was hoping maybe for a retest so I can re-add my short position when it's retesting the 1072. It didn't really give me that. Ended up doing a bear flag and going lower. And yeah, that was that trade. I was really hoping it to kind of give a little bounce here so I can reshort just like NEXT, similar to what NEXT did here. Covered most, rebounce and reshort, and then cover. I was hoping AMC did the same, but sometimes it just continued to fade, and that's where it'll be okay to have maybe a quarter left to just trail this. But I covered the rest there. But that was a total of $341 win from down 100. So it was actually like a $440 win swing of that. Next trade was ARDX. So ARDX, this was also a short on the 1-minute trend. You can see inverted cup and handle forming. Shorted that. My stop prior high 759. I didn't hit my stop, so I went ahead and covered on the 5-minute trend there for a quick $88. Next trade is IIVI. So IIVI, similar chart. I think I had this trade here. Had a flag, fell flag, short, and then covered just on there. So it's a quick $37 win. It wasn't a big trade or anything. Next trade was UUU for a $50 loss. UUU for use. So this one, I also saw it was extended, had a little inverted cup and handle. Shorted that, broke slightly below, and I covered for a loss there for $52. It pretty much retested there when it broke down, and it just bounced off it. So should have covered a tiny bit there before I took a loss, but sometimes the move is too quick. My next loss was VUZI, VUZI. So this one also was a 5-minute extension. You can see in the 5-minute chart, lower highs. And then I was looking for a 2711 break. It didn't really break down there and actually broke out of this flag. Went ahead and shorted a few, and then I covered just right on this flag break. And it went higher, so make sure to take your stops. So that was $133 loss there. Next trade was AMKR, so this was a $200 loss. I think I sized in a little too big for this one, but I was a little bit confident since the 5-minute was extended. But it can get a little tricky if the institutional ownership is high. So you can see there's a little cup, little handle here. It broke a little bit there, little few wicks there, and I took a pretty much I didn't take any covers. I was hoping it for 26.25 to cover, and I ended up stopping out when it was breaking above this prior high. So here, stop where my prior lower high was, and that was for a $200 loss. Next trade was BB. So this one was actually two trades and 2 loss of 150 each approximately, and pretty much the same scenario. So inverted cup and handle there, broke momentarily, stopped out fully, and then here you can see there was another inverted cup handle, shorted, and stopped out here. I was hoping for a $9 test around the 5-minute EMA, didn't really get there, so took 2 losses there for a total of 328. But all in all, still made it a profit and green for today of a total of 213. So the question is, am I ready for scaling up? And the answer is it depends. So it took a little bit of emotional drain to see these bigger losses and bigger wins, but I think that's where scaling up comes into play. It's also scaling your emotions and strategy and making sure you're doing the same consistent plays and don't make the numbers kind of change the way you think. So that's all I have for today, and if you enjoy this content, be sure to hit the subscribe and like button to support the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.